Okay, we're gonna try it. We'll see how it goes. Hello? There we go.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ.
I got him!
So don't get cocky.
This is about what's going to happen.
Welcome to DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, are you in the over 30 club and a band of thieves hijacks a truck full of toys? And did you wash your decorations this year? Adult male 0, baby chick 1. And all this will be discussed. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live as we start this over from the very beginning.
Information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ.
I got him!
So don't get cocky.
Okay, let's try it again.
What's
Ready?
going to happen.
Welcome to DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, are you in the over 30 club and a band of thieves hijacks a truck full of toys? And did you wash your Christmas decorations this year? And an adult man dies after eating a live chicken. Does the chicken survive? Well, stick around for details on that as well. So, welcome to Deacon Live. Oh, fuck. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, God. Stay tuned for details. Like I'm some kind of fucking CBS host or something. Here we go. Welcome back, guys. Are you in the over 30 club and a band of thieves hijacks a truck full of toys? And did you wash your Christmas decorations this year? And an adult man eats a baby chicken alive and the man dies. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. And for the next 60 minutes or so, we'll get you up to date on social news stories and viral videos that you might have missed over the last 7 days, or we'll be talking about it here in the next few. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing all right? Did you get all your Christmas shopping done? Did you get me anything? Did you get me anything? Because I'd love to have something from you guys. And what I'd love to have from you right now is if you go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, you can be part of the... What the hell was that? You can be part of the podcast. You can be podcast famous. Your voice can be heard right here in the studio alongside of me. We broadcast every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time out of a little town outside of Charlotte, North Carolina called Marshville. And something that's on everyone's mind outside of Christmas and Christmas holidays and what you're going to get me for Christmas is the whole TikTok ban. And if things aren't going to be put in order, it will be banned here in the United States. To give you a little update of what everyone's talking about or will be talking about, TikTok will be banned in the United States on January 19th, 2025, after federal appeals court rejected the bid to overturn the ban that President Biden signed in April. The law states that TikTok parent company ByteDance doesn't divest its own ownership to a non-Chinese company. The app will be banned in the United States. The ban date is quickly approaching and potentially rippling through the United States economy, particularly among those in the 7 million small to medium-sized businesses that use the platform to generate revenue and to grow their brands. Let's see. The small market owners diversity expressed that TikTok has transformed their businesses. Felicia Jackson, owner of the CPR Rep, stated that TikTok has driven over $300,000 in sales in just 2 days to her company. It's amazing, she told the TikTok newsroom. And best yet, 2 lives have been saved using our product because they saw it and bought it off of TikTok. So if you're a small company out there that gets a whole lot of these ad revenues from selling your products on TikTok, it's going to be banned here in the United States. And you're thinking it's just out there for like dance and all that stuff. And you're like going, well, why does China care? Christ, we alone buy stuff from, was it Temu? What was the thing that they changed the saying on it? When we saw the commercial, we're like, we've been saying it wrong. So for more on this, we're going to Yahoo Finance. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. go over to YouTube, search DeaconLive Podcast, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. So here we go. I'm going to switch over to camera 4, and we're going to talk to this nice young lady about what's going on and what's going to happen with TikTok.
TikTok's China-based parent company has until January 19th to divest the social media app or face a ban in the U.S. That's unless the Supreme Court or President-elect Trump intervenes. Now, here to discuss what's next, we want to bring in Colin Costello. He's Freshfield's CFIUS and National Security Advisor. Colin, it's great to have you. And when we talk about what is next,
thanks for coming in, Colin.
Looming right now is the January 19th deadline. Obviously, that is the day before President-elect Trump takes office. In terms of what investors or maybe what the American public should be considering here, just in terms of the likely next steps, how do you see this progressing up until the 19th and then beyond once the Trump administration is in the White House?
Well, certainly TikTok and ByteDance have already announced that they plan to appeal this to the Supreme Court, and the court could, at least in theory, get this on a docket pretty quickly and review it. The question is really, will they grant a writ of certiorari in the first instance? And there's questions about whether or not they would even have much to review. The circuit court here was pretty definitive.
Is someone typing in the background? Do you hear someone typing? It's like his secretary taking notes on this. You hear in the background, you can hear like the fingernails typing on like a stenograph or something.
In terms of its ruling, it didn't leave a great deal of ambiguity. It's ruling that this law passes muster under strict scrutiny, the highest level of scrutiny, when you're talking about a First Amendment case. It ruled that the government has a compelling national security interest and the law is appropriately narrowly tailored, and it's a unanimous decision. So it really, of the things that the Supreme Court could review here, it's pretty limited. It's not going to be a matter of discussion whether or not the correct standard was applied. And of course, the standard of review in these types of cases is...
God, my mind's just getting blown by this guy. So let's see if we got anything else going on.
Asked an appeals court to temporarily block that law that would require the divestiture here. I just want to ask the question on consumers' minds. How likely is it that TikTok is not going to be available in the United States come January 20th?
So it's the question then becomes, what do you mean by not available? Because obviously how the law is going to be implemented is it's going to be implemented through service providers like the App Store, like the Google Play Store, who aren't going to be able to, say, push updates or allow further downloads. So it isn't going to be the case that on the 19th or 20th, rather, everyone who has TikTok, all 130 plus million people, that app is just going to vanish from their phones. It's going to be a matter of what happens when updates need to be pushed, what happens when patches need to be released, and that can no longer be done through the App Store or Google Play Store, for instance, because I think out of an abundance of caution, certainly, no matter what the result is with respect to the Trump administration coming in and perhaps even saying that they're going to avoid or delay enforcement of the law, it would seem prudent on the behalf of companies to probably act as if this law is going to remain in effect and indeed start to enforce the...
I think this guy gets paid per word to be on the show, I guess.
With Project Liberty founder Frank McCord, he had recently advanced a bid here to buy the social media site TikTok. Here's what he had to say just about the potential path forward here and his interest within the company.
Let's see if we can find a way here to make this a win-win-win, where the U.S. TikTok is split off from ByteDance. China gets compensated for that. U.S. citizens are no longer have their data scraped and have information, quote unquote, spread to them, which may or may not be accurate, and Americans can be protected, and the U.S. government can fulfill its duty to protect American citizens.
See, I think, and I'm going to go back to me now because this goes on and on and on. But where are we at here? Back to me. What camera am I on? Such a nervous wreck. So what basically is what the government's trying to do, and you can agree with me if you want or don't. They're basically upset because China has got this app that's literally, like they were saying, scraping the information that we have here, at per user, per whatever. Sound familiar? Sound like a guy that they had sitting in front of a special hearings committee asking him if he would sell our information, Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook thing, and he basically said, yeah, that's what I do. And the government's like, okay, so how can we get involved with this? And he's like, well, if you want to buy our stuff, you can buy our information, we'll do that for you. the thing is with TikTok, they have no allegiance to the United States, the government, and our government does not like that. Does not like that at all. And so they're trying to spin off TikTok off of ByteDance to something else. And I don't know. It sounds like government's trying to control the big guy. That's, why didn't they think of it first type deal. So TikTok, it's not going away. They just won't have any updates. They won't have any patches or anything like that. So it might hiccup on you unless they come up with some kind of. we are literally at war in Russia, even though people won't admit it. We are literally at war in Russia, and we're worried about a stupid app. I say stupid app because that's what, little 5-10-year-olds that are, videotaping their bulldogs running around. They're not thinking that this is a stupid app. It's a fun app. But the adults, the people in government are thinking this is bad because it's an outside country that's got a hold on us as far as this stupid app that's feeding them information. You know what? We do it free will. If you don't want to do it, by all means, just turn your phones in. Everyone turn the phones in. Let's go back to landlines. Let's go back to teletypes. Let's go back to writing physical letters in the mail if you want information. But no, we're spoiled. We want information fast. We want it now. And now is even too slow for us. But that's what the world we're living in right now. All right, guys, when we come back, this guy ate a live chicken baby for whatever reason. We'll dive into his story and find out what actually happened to him. So stick around. You'll see Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? We'd love to hear from you. And the way you can be podcast famous, the way you can do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page says, be heard. Leave a message for Deacon Live. You can be anonymous if you want. Click on that if you got a microphone on your device, your tablet, your smartphone, wherever you're listening to us on or at. If you can speak right into it, you can be you can be famous, podcast famous, and you can be anonymous as well. It comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast if you get it in soon enough. If not, we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. Now, drugs are bad, okay, kids? And, they've done this commercial with Rachel Lee Cook as far as, here's your brain on drugs, and she's taking the pan and smashing it, and this is your family, and this is your wife, and this is your husband, and this is your kids, smashing it everywhere. And the point kind of gets across, but does it really? If you were to play this story or tell someone this story, I would go, yep, I'm not doing that drug. Not doing that drug right now. A young woman tore out her eyeballs when she was high on meth, sharing more details about the day and warned others about the dangers of the addictive drug. Okay, we need a warning for this, I guess. Kaylee Mutart was 20 years old when she had a psychotic episode while on methamphetamines. The drug, she says, made her think that everything would end abruptly and everyone would die if she didn't tear out her eyeballs immediately. I gotta save the world, and sacrifices her eyeballs. What's her name? Kaylee, sorry. Kaylee from Anderson, South Carolina says during high school, is that a term that people use? She often smoked marijuana on the weekends, managing to maintain a straight A, even a spot on the National Honor Society. At first, Kaylee Martha is her name. What did they have before? God, they've got misspellings all over this stupid article. Says she avoided harder drugs because addiction ran in her family. When she was 19, she says, a friend gave her a joint laced with meth. Oh, good friend. The high she experienced made her feel closer to God, she says. Don't tell people that. They will go out there and do that right away. And in just a year, Martha went from smoking meth to injecting it. Her mother had finally convinced her to go to rehab, but Martha took the larger than normal dose of meth. The final high before quitting the drug, she says. Well, of course, it's the final high. Before you quit, you always say rock bottom. While she says her memory that day on 2018 was a little foggy, she recalls walking along the tracks and going to church. A friend said that she's been staying with... Jesus. Even without it, I'm friggin' all over the place. A friend she had been staying with drove by and said that she had locked their house. Okay. Martha says that being locked out of her home somehow translated to my sacrifice is the key to saving the world. All right. I remember thinking that someone had to sacrifice something important to right the world. That person was me, she tells the outlet. So I got on my hands and knees and pounded the ground and praying, why me? Why do I have to do this? Kaylee says she explained that the moment the drugs numbed her to the pain, but I pushed my thumb and pointer finger and middle finger into my eyeball, ripping my eyeball out, twisting it, and pulled it until the whole entire eye popped out of its socket. Jesus Christ. I felt like a massive struggle, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Yeah, I can imagine. She said that the church pastor found her screaming, saying that I wanted to see the light. He later said, the preacher also said that he found me. I was holding my eyeballs in my hands as I squished them, although that somehow they were still attached to my head. Jesus, what a freaking horror movies. Excuse me. So now she wears prosthetic eyeballs, saying that I just want to appear more normal on the outside world. Of course, there are times when I really get upset about my situations, particularly at nights where I can't fall asleep. Are you sleeping? Yes. She got fake eyeballs. They're closed. It's black all the time. But truthfully, I'm happier now than I was before all this happened. I'd rather be blind than be dependent on the drugs, Kaylee says. So there you go. Don't do meth, kids. It's bad for you. You don't want to lose your eyeballs. That'd be a big threat in itself. Now, this gentleman right here, a doctor performs an autopsy on a man in India who died from asphyxiation. Were astounded but when they discovered that the fatal condition came about after he swallowed a live chick that miraculously managed to survive the whole ordeal. According to the local media report, a jaw-dropping case came to light when Andor Yadvid was admitted to the hospital in the city of Ambapur, one of those places in India where there's no vowels in the word, after feigning at home. Sadly, he passed away, leaving the doctors to determine his cause of death. Normally, a routine examination took a stunning turn when they sliced open the esophagus and saw what looked like a live chicken inside of his throat. This is the first time I've encountered such a case in my career, having conducted over 15,000 postmortems, said Dr. Santoon Bagh, marveled at the findings, and it shocked everyone in the room. As far as how Yadav wound up with the chick in his throat, it's believed that he swallowed the small bird as part of an occult ritual aimed to helping him become a father. So eat this chicken, you will have kids. Rip out your eyeballs, you can save the world. Jesus, he was on meth too, probably. While the misguided attempt at finding a magical solution to his woes proved deadly, the same could not be said for the bird. It was apparently no worse for wear when from the undoubtedly unsettling experience. Through what became of it after being removed remains a mystery. That chicken went on and banged so many other hens. It actually had the power of potency as far as creating kids. That chicken turned into a rooster and just started effing everything. Why am I answering? Started fucking everything. There you go. That's what I should say. All right, guys, when we come back, we just can't behave. I blame TikTok. I blame TikTok that we cannot behave. There is a retail store right now that is working on a plan to have body cameras on the employees. That's how bad we are as a society. You know who I blame? TikTok. I blame them. So stick around. I'll dive into that when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, what you have to do for me to get it is go over to Prophet Radio. Proud sponsors of Deacon Live and all the other fine programming that comes out of the studio. Go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page says free swag. Fill out that little form, little drop-down menu. Pick out what you want. There's some magnets, some stickers. We have some holiday stuff out there for you, so you can get those in time. Well, we're getting a little close to the holidays. I don't know if it'll make it to you, but, it's the thought that counts, right? And the way you do that is go to prophetradio.com, pick yourself something, and we'd love to hear from you. While you're over there, you can be heard and leave a message. Comes right to the podcast. Now, my favorite store, as of now, that I go to every week on Friday, you guys know this, when I go shopping, is Walmart. Right now, Walmart employees are wearing body cameras in a controversial test program in the United States locations. Shoppers have reported the signs at the store entrances warning them they're warning them of recording devices, with employees seen wearing yellow and black cameras. One was found in Denton, Texas location. A Walmart spokesperson confirming the trial, explaining, while we don't talk about the specifics of our security measures, we also are looking at new innovative technology used across the retail industry. How about we just behave when we're in stores, all right? You want to try that? This is a pilot testing in one market where we will evaluate the results before making a long-term decisions. The cameras are not intended to protect the employees by recording incidences with customers, particularly during the high-stress holiday season. However, critics are firing back. Stuart Applebaum, president of the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, says workers need to be trained to de-escalate situations. Workers need training on what to do in hostile situations at work. The body camera doesn't do that. The body camera does not intervene. The Bianca Augustin, co-director of the United for Respect, also questioned, saying that there are already cameras in the store. Body cameras alone don't substitute for proper training. Augustin raised concerns that the visibility cameras on Walmart employees might provoke people instead of actually helping them. Oh, you want to record me? Record this. World star, baby. I'm going to fuck you up type shit. then you're banned from the store. And then what happens after that? So for more on this, let's see if we can watch this video here. I know, skip ad. So let's find out what's going on in this area here. I'm going to switch the camera forward. Let's see how much it goes.
Employees will now wear body cams. It's part of a pilot program to deter conflict and prevent theft. Some locations have signs warning shoppers they're being recorded. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods have also started using body cameras. The parent company says the devices have cut down on lost inventory.
So there you go. They're putting body cameras on people. Am I in camera one now? Let's go back to camera one. Because people are getting threatened at Walmart. I've told you about situations. I've never seen an actual accostation of an employee. Christ, you can't even get them to talk to you, to ask them for something. Nope, they're head down right by you. Just keep on going. What they should do is give everyone some kind of IQ test. Well, hold on, then that'll eliminate half the rest of the Walmart atmosphere. Something's gonna happen, but the body cameras on Walmart employees, I don't think that's gonna do anything, because you know what's gonna happen. Hear me out. They want higher wages. Okay, now I'm a reporter for your store. I got to wear this body camera on me all the time. What if I got to take a shit? What if I'm on break? What if I pick my nose? I know it's not going to show me, but still, it's an invasion of my personal space of privacy, where I've got to put this recorded device on me and now record your customers coming into your store. Hey man, I'm just trying to put up the macaroni noodles on the shelf. I don't need this goddamn thing hanging around my neck. I got pens and papers and shit all in my pockets already. I'm already 50 pounds overweight. You want to put another 4 ounces on me? Jesus Christ. Help me out here. Do something. Have a drone. Get those drones that they're flying around in New Jersey and stuff. Capture a couple of those and have them just fly around the store and follow people. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Yes, it would be awesome. Now, because we can't behave, there's a hookah bar in, where's this at? Washington's Capitol Hill neighborhood that says, you know what? No one under the age of 30 can come into our hookah bar. And you're like going, well, that's age discrimination. No, it's not. For years, the owners of the Cafe 8 Mediterranean restaurant and hookah bar in the Washington Capitol Hills neighborhood have wondered how to keep their patrons' noise down around their establishment, which backs up next to a residential neighborhood. They want to keep the neighborhood quiet. Hey, you can have a business there, just keep it quiet because my kids are sleeping. They park on the front and they blast their music, the quote says. They party in their cars and all those things, said Elif Sam, who manages the restaurants for her family. Elif, E-L-I-F, Elif? I'm going with Elif. Finally, last month, they decided to take a step to attract the older clientele rather than the younger, rowdier crowds. So they adopted a policy of banning patrons under the age of 30 after 8:30 p.m. You guys should be in school or something. Should be in church. Due to recent unforeseen incidences, we have updated our entry policy to ensure the safety and enjoyable environment for our patrons. As of November 27th, and this Instagram post read on its feed. This decision had been made to prioritize the comfort and well-being of our guests, and we appreciate your understanding and cooperation. All right, so where are they going to go? Across the street? Down the road? I don't know. Sam said that the move was partly prompted by the crime in the area. Her father was beaten up by teenagers while walking from the restaurant to the nearby Dunkin' Donuts several months ago. She said that last month, a group of young men with guns tried to enter the restaurant, although security was able to close the doors to keep them out. They were lucky, but they didn't want this kind of clientele in the area. You know, those 29 years old that are the 31-year-olds are fine. It's the 29-year-olds that are causing the problems. A more mature crowd is hoping will attract less turmoil. Quote, it's easier to communicate with them. They understand, and they're not looking to have any trouble, she also stated. They're not looking to fight, you know? Yes, I know. While still, the family introduces a policy to help keep the peace. It might run afoul in D.C. law. Under federal law, age is not a protected class in service settings the way it is when it comes to employment. And the laws that do not apply to public accommodations, such as eateries, ban on discriminations when it comes to race, religion, national origins, and disabilities, but not age. So in D.C., although the Human Rights Act expands to all kinds of traits that businessmen cannot discriminate against, including age over 18 years old, personal appearance, and political affiliations. It's pretty straightforward, said Andrew Klein, principal of the Vertis law firm who frequently works on cases involving D.C. restaurants. He noted that the D.C. law... Get off my screen. He noticed that the D.C. law included a clause granting exceptions for businesses' necessity, such as allowing establishments to ban patrons under the age of 21 to prevent underage drinking, but he also questioned whether Cafe 8's new rule would meet that standard. I think that making a case that their business necessity for keeping out people over 21 would be troublesome, he says. So I'd like to get your opinion on that. What do you think? Is it okay for you to have a restaurant that only allows people under the age or over the age of 30? God, what's next? Oh, the 30-year-olds are garbage. Only let the 40-year-olds. There was a time, you know, when you checked IDs, when you went to go buy like alcohol or cigarettes or something like that, you saw it up on the thing. If you look under the age of 30, we're going to ask you for an ID. Okay. But now, even today, it says if you look over the age of 40 or under the age of 40, we're going to ask for ID. I mean, they're just, bumping that ladder further and further, going up each rung of the ladder and just increasing just ID everyone. Just make it plain and simple. ID everyone. And as far as like the riffraffs and stuff, yeah, no one over the age of 30 is going to cause a disturbance. I've seen more bar fights between adults at football games and than I've seen, it's half a dozen one. You know what I mean? You just can't stop it all. You just can't move that number to a certain area and go, okay, these people are okay. Pretty soon you'll be like going, well, we'll only let the white people come in or the black people come in. It all depends. And now you're dealing with another issue. I know. I'm getting off track there, but still, you understand what I'm saying. Only if you have the TikTok app. When we come back, there's this stupid hack that I saw on TikTok, of course, about washing the inside of your car with a pressure washer. And it just gets a little stupid after that. And I'll dive into what actually happened. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. We have our very own YouTube channel. That's a Deacon Live podcast. Deacon Live, all one word, then podcast. Make sure you like us over there. and give us a follow, a little subscription over there. It'd be nice. We'd appreciate you. And if you'd like something for free, go over to profitradio.com and you can see all the free stuff we have to give out for you. It's not email grab or anything like that. Just fill out that little form. We'll send it out to you here in the United States. And it might not be there before Christmas, but we'll get it there close as possibly we can. And while you're there, we'd love to hear from you at the Be Heard section. What it does is it opens up a microphone on your device. You can speak right into it. Tell us what you think's going on about any of the articles or any of the stories that we talk about here on the show, or anything you want to say about the podcast in general. You just go over there to profitradio.com, leave us a message. You can be anonymous if you want. Just fill that out and send it right here. We broadcast every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in a beautiful little town just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina called Marshville. Now that I got that out of the way, speaking of TikTok, and there's a lot of stuff. My wife finds a lot of meals on the TikTok thing, one of those one-pot meals, and we try them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're just like, this is like stuff I would eat in college. It's like you just macaroni and cheese and a can of tuna and a bunch of mayonnaise and some ranch seasoning, and boom, you've got dinner for the whole family. And then you're like going, God, I could have made this at home. Or it's like food that like potheads would make. What if I took a chocolate bar and I melted it down and then put Rice Krispies in it and then let the chocolate get hard, and then, it's that type stuff. You're just like going, people are really watching this stuff for like fine cuisines. But this hack right here, and that's one of the things I love to see is hacks. I like to find out a cheap way or a different way of doing something my brain wouldn't have thought of. But right now, drivers are warned against this TikTok cleaning hack that could destroy a vital component of a person's car. In the warning, drivers and experts have urged motorists to avoid jet washing to clean their seatbelts, and pressure could cause vital components to be destroyed. Now, you're like going, well, why would you open the door and put the pressure wash your seatbelt? Sometimes you spill a little bit on it in your coffee in the morning, or a rough night of whatever, and you puke on yourself and you got it all in the seatbelt. But motorists have been cautioned against following the popular TikTok trend cleaning hack that could potentially damage an essential safety feature present in all vehicles. While maintaining cleanliness at both interior and exterior of one's vehicle is generally advised, especially during the wintertime, Select Car Leasing has urged all drivers to ensure the safety of the popular hacks found on social media platforms like TikTok before attempting them. Let's see. He says specifically Graham Conway, managing director of Select Car Leasing, has warned drivers about the trending practice of using jet washers on their seatbelts, stating that this could damage them severely. He cautioned that cars are not regularly cleaned can house an astonishing amount of bacteria and germs. Once you know this, you would naturally want to clean your seatbelts through and through. But beware of the social media advice. Using a jet washer to carry out this task could leave you vulnerable when you come into a crash. According to the several TikTok videos, drivers can effectively clean their seatbelts by extending them out to maximum length outside of the vehicle and then shutting the door. I never would have thought of that, see? But then they use a pressure washer. These posts have garnered thousands and thousands of likes and comments, demonstrating the significant amount of dirt being removed, leading to many drivers contemplating on trying this seemingly simple hack for themselves. I would have think it'd be awesome. However, while jet washing a seatbelt can help remove the dirt, the pressure applied to the seatbelts could fray the webbing, making it more likely to snap, particularly in event of a collision or where they are needed the most. So, nonetheless, Graham has still urges drivers to take an interest in cleaning their interior of the vehicle, especially when the components get touched frequently. He further noticed that studies can as many as 700 different strains, including of germs and stuff such as E. coli and streptococcus, which causes pneumonia and meningitis in older children, could be found on the seatbelt. So there you go. That's it makes sense. You pull the seatbelt out and you close the door and you sit there and spray it. What if you don't use a pressure washer? Can I get away with not using a pressure washer? And I just don't want to spray all this shit inside my vehicle. Can I just use like a Windex bottle or trigger spray bottle? Just because I don't want those harsh chemicals like on my fine Corinthian leather seats. Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? Close the door. I would have thought that getting that seatbelt like soaked with water, in my opinion, would rot it. In time it would rot. Anyone who's used like harnesses or lanyards and stuff, you've constantly got to look at the webbing on it to make sure if you fall, that it doesn't snap on you. It's going to save you. It'll cut you in half, but it'll still save your life, at least half of your life, right? Now, these guys right here, speaking of automotives, and we're getting close to Christmas time, and these bunch of Grinches, unfortunately, stole $1 million worth of toys. A new kind of freight theft is sweeping across America. This heist has stolen a whole shipment of toys worth $1.3 million, as 3 trucks were diverted by scammers posing as truckers. Okay, little fly. Smart Sketchers are a high-tech toy made in the London-based firm called Flycatcher. These electronic toys are designed to help kids draw by protecting an image. Why are they protecting it? By projecting an image. However, amid the Christmas season, when demand is highest, thieves stole 3 trucks containing the valuable toy. According to the company, they were set to be shipped 12,600 toys valued at about $110 each. 3 trucks were set to leave the depot, stop moving around, leaving the depot to make their way to the distributors. However, I'm going to fucking kill you. However, none of the trucks made it to their destinations. The 3 stolen trucks were designated to companies posing as well-known freight companies. They managed to pick up the jobs and continued the illusion. The toys were loaded onto 3 trucks and then stolen, never returning at their agreed-upon location. 2 of the shipments went to Los Angeles, and the location of the 3rd is still unknown. However, the suspect that it may be in, God Almighty. However, it's suspected that it may be in New York. The Flycatcher company is the only one selling this particular toy. However, they have been popping up online as a result of the 3 stolen truck of goods. They're all over Amazon right now in a deep discounted price. The company has issued The company has issued a total of 14 cease and desist lawsuits on an online retailer. They have no doubt that these are the stolen goods from the missing shipments. The blow to the company is huge, not only a loss of stock, but also their predicted good values at retail. Shay Shen, owner of Flycatcher, spoke out about the devastation resulting in 3 stolen trucks. We can't afford what's happening. He says, we are losing so much money in the middle of the holidays. Without a doubt, the heist could be fatal for our company, leaving them without unrecoverable losses. According to the report, the strategic thefts like this have been blowing up. It's up about 1,445% this year. Oh, Jesus, from levels from 2022. This huge increase, in fact, contributes to 33% of cargo theft. So this didn't happen. I guess it happened here in the United States. So cargo theft. What were we talking about? Those dock workers, the union boys, or whatever, the lawn boys. What were they called? Where they said, everything comes across our freaking docks right here, asshole. You want your stuff to come on here, your China stuff, all your other stuff. Hey, you fucking asshole, that's going to come through here. And all of a sudden, now this stuff starts missing. Truck drivers are showing up. Hey, let me see your paperwork. Hey, you got your paperwork right here. See you later. And they take off. It's got to be an inside job. Someone's got to know. Those dock workers, man. They do not play around. And for them to take them, I don't know if they came off the dock or if they came out of distribution center. I don't know. But still, I mean, you got to put some pieces together. Some pieces have to fit somewhere, don't they? Well, maybe they do. It's just the way I think about things. When we come back, did you get your Christmas tree out of the attic? I sure did. Now, did you get all the ornaments out? Yep, sure did. Did you go through and wash them? No, why would I wash them? Well, when I tell you this story, you might want to wash them, or at least look at them a little bit better. So stick around. I'll dive in that story when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you. And the way you can be podcast famous, go over to prophetradio.com. At the top of the page says, Be Heard. Leave a message for us. You can be right here alongside of us. We broadcast every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get yours in now. If you don't get it in soon enough, we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. We also have an archive full of shows, even going back as far as 2017, and you can hear all the different people that were on the show. We had different co-hosts. We evolved in so many different ways, so you can go back through and ask us a question on those shows as well. But give us a little reference points. Hey, you know, on this date, on this show, what did you mean by that? Or I heard that, or I disagree with that, or whatever you want to do. And don't forget, all the musical artists that you hear during the show, during any of the podcasts that we have here, they're all independent artists. They're looking for your love. Show them some love. Follow them on whatever Spotify channel they have. Follow them on whatever links they have. A lot of their information can be found on the Prophet Radio website. If you want to hear the full length of all these songs, you can see that under the Be Heard. Music heard on the Deacon Live podcast. You can check them out and make sure you give them a little bit more interest and show them that you appreciate their music as well, because these guys are working hard, and all of them are really, really talented as well. Now, there's a trend going out there that when you get your Christmas tree, like if you buy a real one off the lot, that you would never thought of this in a million years. I've never heard of this, but you know, when you get the Christmas tree and you go to the lot and you pick it out and they wrap it up in that netting and stuff, and they throw it on top of your car, and you get it home and you open it up and you put it right in the house. Fill up the water bottle, Billy, or the water base there, Billy, and you set the tree right in it, and you're done, right? You just leave it. People now are so is the only word I can say. They're so that they physically will take the tree outside and hose it down to get all the bugs, to get all the mites, to get whatever off of it. Have you ever seen a Christmas tree truck when it comes in? I've working for Home Depot for many years. I've seen them because I've had to unload them, and they still have snow on them. They come in a big, long, they have a TK unit, a Thermal King, and it's blowing cold air in there to keep them, nice and cool and stuff. They still have snow on them. Now, granted, I have seen like a dead bird in there in the truck itself, or a mouse. See a little mouse in there, but they're mostly dead. Everything's dead, and it's cold in there. It's like 40 degrees in there. But then you're like going, well, Deacon, what about when it sits out on the lot and, birds nest in it? They're not nesting in there. What about the spiders that crawl up from the ground in it? Okay, you know what? Then don't buy a goddamn real tree. Don't bring anything alive in your... Don't even let your dogs come in the house. But people are washing their trees, like not scrubbing it with soap and water, but they're washing the tree outside and then bringing it inside, and then, how long do you have to wait for it to dry? Then you're going to have all that drippy stuff all over your carpet and stuff. I don't know. That's what a lot of people, that's what I heard a lot of people are doing. Do I do it? No, I'm not retarded. I'm not stupid. But this woman right here, once she got her tree up, of course, went up in the attic and stuff and get all your memorabilia as far as like ancient Christmas ornaments that you would have and passed down from family to family. A woman in TikTok unlocked a new fear after revealing the contents of a rattling Christmas tree ornament that she retrieved from her storage area. The TikToker MP7 took to the platform after a noise in her ornaments made a curiously pinging sound, made her curious about what was going on inside. The TikToker explained she is a firm believer in investigating quote-unquote red flags. She said that she had to know what was inside. So let's see. I'm going to go to... Hold on there, darling, before I get to you. I'm going to go to camera 4 here, and we're going to see actually what she found inside of her Christmas ornament. Here we go.
Today, I noticed that a bunch had this weird rattle sound, and as somebody whose interest is constantly being piqued by red flags, I had to know what was inside.
So she's got like this blue ball, Christmas ornament. It's got like a ribbon and another ball attached to it for some reason. I don't know what it is.
So I did the sensible thing. I grabbed a stick, I whacked it, and oh my gosh, look.
Jesus Christ. She broke the Christmas ornament, and like thousands and thousands of these big, huge carpenter ants came running out.
The ants that were coming out of this thing, it was terrifying.
That was my grandmother's ornament. Why'd you break it?
I got my ornaments out of storage.
One more time. Here she goes.
A bunch had this weird rattle sound, And as somebody whose interest is constantly being piqued by red flags, I had to know it was
Here she goes.
So I did the sensible thing. I grabbed a
Yeah, it's
stick,
sensible.
I whacked it, and oh my gosh, look at
Ants
the
all over the
ants
place.
that were coming out of this thing. It was terrifying.
So,
all right,
all right, shut up. Christmas songs. So, was that the only solution? You know, she had taken and whack. You know, her grandmother's. That was her like baby rattle or something, baby ornament when her great grandmother was alive, and she just sat there and whacked it with the end of a broomstick, and all the ants came out. She could have handled that a little bit different, but you know, all for the likes, all for the clicks, and now China knows exactly where to put the ants. I don't know why I sound like that, but that was my Chinese very bad impression of it. And an impression right now that kids are very impressionable, especially around. Why is this on? No, I don't want to order that, but thank you very much. Especially around Christmas time. You know, you tell them that Santa Claus is real. You tell them that all that. I did watch that movie, Red One. Do we need Jack Santas? Do we need Santas and Claus that are not sexy, but, you know, not fat anymore? What happened to the fat, jolly old Santa? They're going to have to change the song. Well, another song that's been changed over the year based on your upbringing is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Is completely different based on the region of school where it had a different ending. What is your ending that you have? You know, when it says, well, let's get into the article here. Some Christmas carols have remained a beloved seasonal staple for decades, as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is no exception. While many don't realize, however, that the way this classic is sung can vary deeply depending on the location. Darnell London, a Canadian singer-songwriter known as TikTok as Darnell London, recently uncovered these variations and turned to the platform to ask how the other people sing it. In her video, she compares the versions from her school and her husband's school. I have a question for you millennials, is what she starts out. You know, when you're growing up, you sing off Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There's a whole bunch of different versions of it. So let's see. Where's our video at? Are you going to give me the video? Are you going to tease this whole thing and not give me the video? Oh, I'm going to fucking choke slam someone. Let's see. What's her fucking name again? Let's go to Darnell London's TikTok page and see how she says that people sing it. So here we go. Hold on, Darnell. Hold on.
You know, when we were growing up and we would sing.
Hold on. You are so impatient. So we're going to go to camera 4 and we're going to see singer-songwriter Darnell London, what she has to say about the ending of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Mine was, the ending was, and you'll go down in history. You know, da-da-da-da, you'll go down in history. So let's see what she's finding out over in Canada, eh?
I have a question for millennials. You know, when we were growing up and we would sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and we would add the little, like a light bulb, those little things in between the lines. So at the end, in my school, we would say, you'll go down in history.
Yeah.
Like, there was 2 options. Like the Blue Jays or like the Yellow Pages. And I was recently talking to my husband about this. His school didn't say that. They said, like Columbus. And then I realized maybe it was different at every school or every city or every neighborhood. So I really need to know what you guys said or sang when you were growing up singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Thanks.
So at the end, I guess what she's saying is, let's go back to me now. You know, when you sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, like a light bulb. All the other reindeers used to have to call him names like Pinocchio or whatever. You know, one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh? And all the other kids loved him as they shouted out, Wiggly, hooray! Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You'll go down in history. I don't know what I said at the end. I think I just left it at the end. You'll go down in history. And then that's it. I always thought as a kid, here's my development. Here's my neighborhood. Little waterheads out there. I always thought at the end of the song, they said, you'll go down in listen to me now. You'll go down in history. Or is it you'll go down in his story, like Rudolph's story? That's the way I always thought it. I didn't think it. Why would you go down in history because of whatever? No, you go down in his. You're part of his story now. You'll go down in his story, and then like light bulb and all the other stuff. So you tell me, is it history or his story? That's where I want to know the answer. All right, guys, make sure you follow us over on YouTube. The way you do that is search DeaconLive, all one word, then podcast. Give us a little like and subscribe over there. We appreciate you guys listening and downloading all that stuff. Make sure you follow us on iHeart, Spotify, and all the other streaming platforms that you can find us on. And make sure if you want to be heard, you go to profitradio.com. Get yourself something for free. At the top of the page says be heard. Leave a message, comes to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. All right, guys, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon, saying good night and good night.
Wait, come back.
This is the absolute end.
Because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, guys. Not that I know what I'm doing. I'm a different approach. There it is. See you later. Bye.